For as long as I can remember, my granny has been making Pavlovas for dessert. And a Pavlova is basically an egg white meringue, and then you put heaps of fruit and heaps of cream and loveliness on the top. And even though she lived in England, whenever she came over to Trinidad for Christmas or something like that to stay with us, my mum always asked Gran to make a Pavlova because she did it so well. And it's really quite easy to make. What we're going to do is beat up 3 egg whites, right? So we're going to whip them in the way that you do egg whites until they form stiff peaks. One thing to know when you're dealing with egg whites is it really makes a lot of sense to have your eggs at room temperature. It works much better. So that's nice and stiff. And then, whilst I'm whisking, I'm going to add 6 ounces of caster sugar. Okay, so that is looking really good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my meringue onto some parchment paper. Now this was always the kind of, if you got this wrong, it could become a real pain in the neck. I remember Granny sort of painstakingly peeling parchment off the back of the meringue. So I've got some butter, and I'm basically going to grease the baking tray, and then with my parchment, let's just measure out a piece there, cut it, and I'm now going to grease the parchment as well, just a little bit. There we go. So I'm basically just going to spoon all my meringue onto the tray. Basically into a nice big heap right into the middle. Whoops. And then take a spatula and basically just gently spread it out a little bit. Like that. And we're ready to go into the oven. I'm going to put it into the oven to bake at 300 degrees for about 45 minutes. And then after that, you turn the oven off, but you leave your meringue in there and let it cool as the oven is cooling. And when you take it out, it will be absolutely perfect. So let's pop that in the oven. And leave it to cook for 45 minutes. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is some fruit to go on top of my pavlova. So I thought what I would do is make some flambéed bananas, and then I'm going to have fresh mango and some mango coulis as well to go with that. So for the flambéed bananas, I have just about 3 bananas here, which I'm going to cut into fairly thick diagonal slices. Okay, let's get this going. Nice high heat, and we're gonna put in quite a nice sized lump of butter, like a good tablespoon size. Gonna let that melt. And then into this, I'm going to put a good 2 or 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, right? I'm gonna let this caramelize. So the sugar will start to melt and the butter's melting. Just as if you were browning chicken for a stew or something, I guess. The mixture is bubbling away. So I'm just gonna put all my banana in there. And kind of gently sort of get it mixing up. Coat it nicely, and then I'm going to pour in my rum and then dip it. And there we have the flambe happening. Don't stand over the stove when you're doing this, by the way. So I'm just going to let that cook. Okay, so the pavlova is cooked, and I'm just going to get everything together that goes on the top of it, right? So I've had my metal bowl in the freezer to get it nice and cool to handle the cream. And here I have just whipping cream, and I'm going to do about a cup. And again, really high speed, just going to whip. Now, the thing to remember is if you over whip cream, it curdles, and that's painful. So at a certain point, there you go, peaks are forming, and there you have, that's your perfectly whipped cream. Okay, so that's just about ready. And to go inside my, to go on the top of my pavlova, I decided to make some sort of fruit coulis. I'm tired tongue today for some reason. So a fruit coulis, as I said before, is just a sauce, and I'm going to use ripe Julie mangoes. I adore Julie mangoes, right? So I've had some Julie mangoes in the fridge chilling away. I've sliced them up. They're very ripe. And I'm gonna put in a fair amount of mango. Maybe I think I'm putting in the flesh of about one very ripe Julie, right? And then I'm going to add just some rum. And I'm also going to put in a little bit of orange juice to make it nice and liquidy. So I'm going to whiz it. I think I'm going to put in a toops more mango. This pavlova is going to be lovely and light and fruity and fresh. Excellent. So that's the coulis there. So here's the pavlova that we made. I've just put it on a kind of high dish for presentation. And let's see, I'm going to put my cream, I'm going to put my mangoes, my bananas. So let's get some. This is sliced ripe Julie mango. Right. So what I'm going to do is put a bit of this onto here. Now, the thing about pavlova is it's all very kind of, it's not a rigid dessert. So if things start to kind of fall off the edge, that's okay. Right. And now what I want to do is just get some of my whipped cream onto here. Let's see, and sort of push it. Get it all the way out. So you have a little mango on the outside and you have your sort of cream happening on the inside. Oops, cream everywhere. What you don't want to do is go swoosh, 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 because then you'll mix in the coulis with the cream. Unless that's what you want, of course, but I rather like the kind of pure color of the coulis and then the sort of pure color of the cream. Right, so we put in that D. And then, let's get some of our mango happening here. No, this is mango, this is banana. Let's get some of our cooked bananas, which have that lovely kind of syrup on them. Oop. Right. And then, with my beautiful Julie, I'm gonna place the slices on. Just forming a little boost of mango in the middle. And then I'm going to do a little decadent dollop of cream on the top at the end. And there you have it. Beautiful pavlova, something that my granny would really, really love and enjoy.